this is a different situation. This is situation independent.
What a mess. It's so weird, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is. But you know, I think all of us. I remember growing up in Laguna Beach, and you'd get tar in your foot.
Right.
It's very difficult to give you a quantifiable number. It's because it's very sporadic. So there are areas where you may walk down the beach and not come into contact with anything for a few feet, a few hundred yards, and then you have a pocket of tar or petroleum-based product that is more significant than we would in the future in the previous years. So again, from this perspective, that's why we're saying we have more of a reason to be concerned about it, and that's why we're taking definitive action. To make sure that we're minimizing any potential impact or further impact to our beaches, obviously protecting the public health, protecting the environment, and making sure that we're protecting the animals. We actually had 2 animals that were exposed to petroleum-based products today, potentially. We had a California brown pelican that was identified by the lifeguards that was saturated with petroleum-based product. And that brown pelican was then transferred over to Long Beach Animal Control for further care and treatment. So those are big concerns for us, and certainly we know that petroleum-based products are a long-term health issue, and we also realize that petroleum-based products can basically cause skin irritation and rashes, and so we're not taking that lightly. We're taking every effort to make sure we're doing everything we can to minimize that potential spread.
You mentioned a pelican, but 2 wildlife.
So the other animal that we were dealing with was a sea lion that was on the federal breakwater. There appeared to be some type of signs that it may have been contaminated, but it was very difficult to capture that animal to make an actual assessment as to whether or not an actual contamination had occurred.
How long are we looking at the closures for, Chip?
It really depends tonight on how much further product we have or release of product we have, if in fact there is a source, so to speak. But for instance, in other areas or other events, you might have had the initial roll-in of product that might have been very light, and then throughout the evening you find out in the morning that you have a much more prominent amount or a specific amount that in certain areas. So it really is going to be situationally dependent on whether or not we're dealing with more of just a cleanup based on the current product that we have, or we're dealing with an increasing incident or an escalating incident based on continued product that we find down our beaches.
So we still have to find the source of this.
Well, that's correct, and that's why it's part of an ongoing investigation, and that's why we've reached out to our partners to help identify whether or not this product is related to the Santa Barbara event, or it's related to the South Bay events, or whether or not we're dealing with something that's a naturally occurring product here as far as just a normal tar release. So again, it's part of that process, and we're doing everything we can to not only identify the source, but we're doing everything we can to start the cleanup immediately. And that's one of our biggest issues here, and that's why we didn't let any time go by when we identified this was escalating, to make sure we reached out to our contractor that we have to start cleanup measures tonight versus waiting till tomorrow morning.